Well, good afternoon folks, and welcome to another Lumix Wednesday video. And today I'm out somewhere near Montague Park, which is near Yeovil in Somerset, and I'm out here today because I want to talk about something I've been using on my video footage, using my Lumix and my iPhone and my DJI Action 2 footage. So it doesn't matter whether I've been shooting vlog or D-log or just straight iPhone footage. This software has been working for me and really fits in well with my workflow. So the aim of today really is to come out and do some video and to shoot some black and white with my Lumix S5 Mark II, and to talk about the software that I am using, which is Dehancer, which is a software plugin for Photoshop, After Effects. It also is for Lightroom, and it's for Premiere Pro, as well as DaVinci Resolve and Final Cut. The last two I don't have, so I don't know, I haven't really got any experience of them. And what I want to do is come at this video from a sort of average Joe point of view, which is what category I think I fit in. And what I mean by that is I'm not an expert videographer. As you can see from my videos, I'm not an expert videographer, but I feel like I'm coming from a good place to talk about this, because I'm not an expert, I'm not color gradist and all that sort of thing. I am just somebody who likes to really do video. I like doing YouTube content. I like doing videos just for private sort of family videos and stuff like that. Maybe you want to do a wedding or something like that, or you've got, you know, you're going to a mate's birthday and you've been asked if you'd do some video and stuff like that. This is really good for my workflow anyway, because as you know, my main thing that I like to shoot is film. That's my passion. It's what I do all the time, is film photography. So of course what I want is a software that I can add to my videos, which is going to give a film look. Now I don't like that phrase, film look, but that's the sort of thing I'm looking for. So I want and what I mean by that is I want my videos to be gritty. I want them to have some grain in them. I want them to look like the film that I'm actually shooting out in the field. And this program gives you all them options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on around this walk now, and I'm going to take some photos. We'll just talk a bit more about this software, and then I'll head back to the studio and just give a bit of an overview on the software and just how I use it in my workflow. So let's get on with this video.
So welcome folks to the studio, and first of all an apology for my voice. I'm feeling very Barry Wright today. Yeah, woke up this morning and seem to have a bit of a throat thing going on, which makes my voice sound, well, it goes at some point. So hopefully I'll be able to get through the rest of this without my, and keep my voice intact. But anyway, what obviously we're going to look at now is just the office side of Dehancer, and just how it how I make it work within Premiere Pro. And I'm not using the big screen and that, just because I've got a sort of docking station here, which is supposed to work perfectly with this setup. But I find this slows my Mac down hugely, to the point where I can't, I struggle to use Premiere Pro, and adding stuff on like Dehancer and things like that obviously only increases the issues. So I need to look at another alternative docking station wise to this thing, because it isn't doing what it was advertised to do. But anyway, that aside, so I just want to talk about my Mac quickly, just so you guys know out there what I'm using. Like I say, I'm not an out and out videographer. It's not what I do for my day job, any stretch of the imagination. I mainly use this for Lightroom and Photoshop. So I've got what I would class, and please don't shoot me down for saying it, but I would class as being a consumer grade Mac. That's what I would call it. This is a MacBook Pro. It's a couple of years old now, or it's coming up to being a couple of years old. It's the M1. I think it's got 8 gig of RAM, and it's got 250 gigs of storage hard drive. So it's not the quickest machine in the world. And so the reason why I wanted to say that is because I wanted you guys to see how this actually interacts with a Mac of as a year and a half old, and just see how the performance is anyway. And the way I run my apps on this, because I tried various different things when I first got it. What I did is I installed Lightroom, Photoshop, Adobe, After Effects all on the system's hard drive, and it just went, no, not having it, and it would hardly run anything. I'd run out of space constantly, hugely frustrating. It's definitely a mistake I made when I bought this Mac. I should have bought one with maybe more gigs of RAM and more memory. But anyway, that's what it is. So what I do is I've got a Samsung, I think it's a T7 drive. Is it T7? Yeah, T7 drive, which has got 1 terabyte of storage on there. And I run all my apps off this drive, plugged directly into the USB-C port on the Mac. So this seems to run it perfectly fine, and it frees up loads of my hard drive space to allow for processing and all that sort of joyful stuff that goes on. So that's how I run my Mac when I'm running Premiere Pro, and and it gets me through fine, which is good. So let's get into this. So what I want to do is just show you guys how I make this work. So the answer, once you've plugged the whole thing in, the way that you get this to work is you come to Effects, and you go to Video Effects, and you come down to Film Emulation, and you'll see the Dehancer Pro. This is volume 1.3, version 1.3, selected there. And what you do is you drag it over the video footage you want to put it on. So I just want it on this one. What you can do is, obviously, if you select the whole timeline, you can drag and drop onto the whole timeline, as you would do with effects with other stuff. Like I say, I'm no expert on Premiere Pro by any stretch of the imagination. So I am coming at it from more of a consumer side, and not from a side of having to use this to do my day job, because my day job is more photography based than it is video. But anyway, so what I've done here is I've put some various footage up. The first footage you'll see in here is I've just cut it in half, so just so we can see a before and after. There's 3 of these, and then which was shot on the Lumix using Vlog, and then the last one is DJI Action 2 footage shot on D-Log, I think it is. So that's what we got. So what I'm going to do is just go through what we can do with Dehancer really, and why I'm liking it so much. So let's start with this. So I've obviously just dropped Dehancer plugin onto this, and as you can see straight away, has changed the footage. Okay, so you've got a green footage with a lot of grain on the image, as you can see there. So, obviously all this footage here was shot, during the video that you've just seen up to this point. So all this footage has come from that day. So I've trimmed it down. I haven't done anything else with it. I've just literally trimmed it down, and left it in these 4 segments just so you can see what I'm doing with them. So what I'm going to do is go through the Dehancer bit. So I'm on the Dehancer footage at the moment, and then on this side of the screen, you've got all of these options. Look, all these options you've got to now play with this footage and get it to how you want it. And I just think this is amazing. So you've got things like input where you can choose the source files. So for this, we'll go through it on this. So I can choose my camera. So we can choose camera, and then you've got all these camera options, including iPhone and all sorts of stuff like that. Obviously, what I'm looking for is my Panasonic S5. There it is, S5 Mark II. And as you can see there, it's already changed it to be quite a vibrant shot, to be fair, but it's changed there, as you can see. I can change the exposure, the temperature, the tint, and all that sort of joyful stuff if we so choose to. But the main feature in this, really, or one of the main features, is the film choice. So when you first load on Dehancer, when you first drop the this onto there, it will always set as Kodak Vision Free 250D film emulation. That's what it drops on. But as you can see from this, you've got all of these choices. I think there's 63 there, I haven't counted them all, but I believe there is. But there's everything from black and white. If you want to change to black and white, you got HV5 Plus, there's Acros in there. There's all sorts of stuff like that. There's Rolly on there. There's there's actually Lomography Purple. If you want to go absolutely crazy and you change your footage to purple, then you can do that if you want to. The only thing I wish they did have, and this is obviously if you are watching this Dehancer, would be nice to have, is the Lomography turquoise film on here would be nice. So you've almost got all of the crazy coloured ones that they do would be a nice thing to have. But anyway, but they got purple, they got Metropolis on there, and I think hopefully they add the new film as well, which is called 93. Anyway, it'd be nice to have them ones on there. But yeah, there's Ilford's XP2 Super on there, so you can black and white if you want. But for this one, I tend to stick around I quite like the 400H image or effect that you get from that. I quite like that. And also Velvet 50 as well. I like that as well. Just makes it a bit more sort of orange, I suppose. But for this, we're going to go with Pro 400H. So what you can do from there is you can push and pull the film if you want, 2 stops either way. And that will just obviously lighten it or darken it. I don't really feel like I need to do. Maybe I'll stop. Maybe. But yeah, I can push and pull this here, and obviously it will give that effect of pushed and pulled film as well. It's not just about darkening or lightening the image; it's about giving that effect that you pushed it or pulled it, and the quirky effects you get from doing that with the film, which is nice to have. So I'll just leave that at 0 at the moment. You can also then, there's a section for film developer where you can get, contrasting camera and all that sort of stuff you can play with there. There's film compression. Again, there's loads of options in there for film compression. There's expand, black points and things. There's print, color head, film grain. I'll just open this one up here. It always, like I said, the default is always Vision 250D. They always add that on there. But what I like to do is I find the grain a little bit too heavy for what I'm looking for. So I always knock that back to about 2, between 2 and 5, depending on the film type, just to add a little bit of grain in there, but not for it to be too much that it's completely overpowering. So, there's all sorts of things you can change on there. I mean, it's just madness. The amount of stuff that's gone into this is just crazy. You can change the modes and, negative, positive, there's all sorts of stuff you can do. I haven't even been through here and used all the stuff on here. But I do find myself playing with this loads and just sort of spending loads and loads of time. I don't need to spend loads of time. It's more just I enjoy the process of going through all these tabs and just playing and getting the footage how I like it. The level of detail I've gone into it is just crazy. But you can add dilation, bloom, vignetting. You can just so much stuff. Look, there's loads of stuff. Gate weave, false color, and then you can output and things like that. But one thing I do really like about this plugin is that they've got a LUT generator. And obviously, for those of you who shoot with a Lumix S5 Mark II or the X version now, will know that you can upload LUTs onto your camera and you can bake them in on camera as you're filming, or you can put them on so you can see what the film's going to look like. Obviously, then when you export it, it will be your normal flat vlog footage. And I just love the fact that I can play with this and download some LUTs out of it and then upload it to my camera. It's just amazing. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to spend a lot more time, just when I've got the free time really, to put some different types of footage in there on different days and generate some LUTs and then upload them into my camera, so I can apply them to my film, my video as I'm going, which will speed up my process even more, which is great. So yeah, we can do all sorts of stuff like that. So as you can see, you know, the image that is generated is a nice image, and you can see between the two the difference between the footage there and the sort of the vlog footage as it stands. So that's that one. So the other thing you can do as well is, so if we come on to the next clip, so as you can see, the next clip is split into two. It's the same footage. So at the moment, both in vlog. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Dehancer plugin. I'm going to put it over the top. It's obviously applied the Vision, Kodak Vision 250D onto it. As you can see there, there's a difference between the two. But what I'm going to do this time, instead of applying the camera over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into my color things here, and where you've got apply a LUT, I can apply, you know, I've got all these sorts of LUTs in here, but the one I seem to favour is the Cine Light D, so I can apply that to it, and then I can play with saturation over here, you know, tint and temperature and all that sort of stuff, as well as coming over here to select my my film type. So maybe this time we'll go with a portrait, and I can come over here and sort of make it a bit more saturated if I want. I can change the temperature if I so wish. And then again, I'll just come down here and come to, if you can see it, the film grain, which is there. And I'm just going to change that. I'll put it down to 5. There we go. Yeah, so that's just a quick and easy. There you can see there's a difference between the vlog and what it's changed to. I mean, if I'm honest, I would spend a lot more time on this. If I was doing this for a client, I'd spend a lot more time playing with these settings over here and playing possibly with these settings over here to get how I want it. If I just move this one to here, you'll then see the difference between the two there. You know, there's quite a big difference there. And I favour choosing the right camera over here and then playing with it from there. It comes out, it just pops a lot more. There's a lot more saturation in there, and obviously we can turn the saturation down on either side depending on what I want to do with it. So that's that. The next sort of one here, I'll just do the same thing. Effects, video effects, Dehancer, drop that onto there. I come over here and I will choose my input. So let's just choose my camera. Again, choose camera and come down to Panasonic. There we go. Just had that, as you can see there, it's just completely and utterly popped as soon as I've added that on there. And then film, let's choose a different one this time. Let's go low-mo purple. Let's go crazy. There is some low-mo purple action right there, and that's just madness. But low-mo purple, I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to desaturate that a little bit. It's a little bit too much in my face for my liking. I'm also just going to adjust the grain. There's the grain. Always lose that. There it is. Let's take that down to 10. Right. So we got that. So just as a comparison, you'll see that on the vlog footage, I mean, it was that easy to transform that footage from that to that. And that's what I'm loving about using this. Like I say, because I'm not an expert colorist or videographer, just the fact that I can drop the plugin in, play with some settings over here, apply a film stock to it that I like the look of, play with it some more, and then bang, it's done as a video. To me is just brilliant about this because you know, I've got family, I work, I've got professional photography stuff that I do. Also, I love making my YouTube videos, as you know, and obviously this sort of thing is going to be more for my YouTube side of things. But I would definitely use it for a client also. If a client wants me to do a video, yes, I will definitely use this to do that. So that's that one. And then if I just show you the last one, which is a different camera. So this is the D-Log taken from the DJI Action 2. So again, if we just come to effects and video effects and Dehancer, drop that on there. As you can see, it's changed it. Now, obviously on the input, there is DJI cameras. Let's just do this together. I'm going to see if DJI Action 2 is actually on it. Obviously they've got the Action 2. There you go, Action 2. There we go. That's what's that done today. Now, as you can see, that's lost a lot of detail in the shadows right there. I'm going to change this up to maybe, I mean, you can have Foodie Instax if you want. Let's do some black and white on this. So this is HP5 Plus. Let's go to the film grain. Just going to knock that back a little bit to 10. And then I'm just going to come over here just for ease. And I'm going to just maybe pull the highlights. No, shadows, sorry. That, and I'm going to knock the saturation down. So there you go, with some black and white footage if you want. Obviously, I'd have a lot more playing to do with this to get it to how I want it. I'd do a lot more stuff over here also to get it to how I want it. But it's just to show you how easy that was to transfer it, you know, transform it from that. Some people might say, well, we prefer that, but to transform it from that to that is, you know, it's that easy. And to me, it saves a lot of time doing it. So, so that's really just a very, very basic view of Dehancer in Premiere Pro. Like I say, I've not used it in anything else other than Premiere Pro. It is available for DaVinci Resolve, and it is available for After Effects as well, if you so wish. So that's that. Now, I think this program is brilliant, and I'm not just saying that because they've let me have a trial of this. They give me a month's free trial to give it a go. I'm saying this because as a film shooter, I'm not going to go out and buy I'm not going to start getting into Super 8, 8mm, 16mm, 16 ultra wide, all that sort of stuff. I'm just, you know, I can't really afford to get into that medium, and I haven't really got the time to do that. So for me, having a program that from my level of, you know, being able to do this sort of thing, for me, it makes my life so much easier, and I'm really, really pleased that it exists because, you know, like I said, with my Monday videos I do when I shoot film, I want a film looking video to go along with it to show you guys, you know, obviously me doing the taking the photos out in the field, and Dehancer makes that process really, really easy. It's never going to replace film, of course. It's not going to replace shooting 8mm. It's not going to replace shooting 16mm. You know, they are what they are. But for, you know, the amount of work and time and effort and sort of research that Dehancer put into this plugin, you know, it gives a really, really good effect. And I can't fault them at all for what they've created because it is really, really good thing. There's only one real downside that I see to this. And this is just me being honest. As somebody who has, you know, I don't do this professionally. You know, video work. I don't do it professionally. My YouTube channel, for me, is for fun. I enjoy doing it. You know, and like I've said in a previous video, yes, I'd like it to replace what I do full time. for the moment, it doesn't. So for the moment, I probably represent a mass load of people, or you guys out there that are perhaps watching this, where you don't do photography as your main work. You do it as a hobby, either as a semi sort of pro, where you go and shoot the odd wedding, but you've got a day job as well. So perhaps you sit in the middle. So I'm coming at it and talking to you guys more so than the professional guys. With the professional side of things, this is a brilliant bit of kit. If you're a videographer, and you're colorist and all that sort of thing, perhaps in DaVinci Resolve, you can get quite close to these, and perhaps you've got more time to sit and, spend hours, touching up to get it to look exactly like, Lomo purple, perhaps. And I realize it's probably doable more so in DaVinci Resolve than perhaps, Premiere Pro. I'm sure someone will say, no, you can get exactly the same effect with Premiere Pro, and that's fine. And if you've got that level of skill, then great. But if, like me, you haven't, and like I say, you've got other things that are going on in your life as well, then I'm speaking more to you guys than anyone else. So upsides is it's a great bit of kit. Downsides are really, and there is only one, is the price. Okay, now the price is something that, if you're like me, I've been doing photography a long time. I do now get paid for doing photography, and I can reinvest it into what I do. So I can reinvest it into this program. But if you don't, and it's a hobby, then, your money you've set aside for photography is perhaps not as big a budget as somebody who does it professionally. And you've got other things that are making your finances stretch, perhaps. And perhaps when you go, okay, I've got a lump of money together, I'm going to go and spend it on something. I've saved up for some photography budget. I'm going to spend it. I would say that this program, for me, in that position, even if I was shooting video, as sort of a hobbyist, would possibly not be spent on this. I would be spending it probably on some, glass. I might be spending it on some film. I might be spending it on a new camera, or some lights, or a new microphone, or, there's a lot more things that I would put on the priority order than spending money on this, because for a lifetime membership with this, so you get this for life, is $400 or $399 US, which is about 315 pounds here in the UK. They have other options, like there is a year subscription you can have, which is $299 US, which sits about 235 UK pounds. There's a 6-month option, which is $199 US, or about 155 pounds. And then there's a 3-month option, which is $149 US, which is about 120 pounds. Now, no doubt it's worth that money. The time and effort's been put in for this, and the options you get, to be able to manipulate your footage to look a lot more film-like, and to give it that impression that it's film, is amazing. And, the effort that's been put in is probably worth that money. However, it's difficult to recommend to somebody that is hobbyist, and perhaps has got a stretched budget. And that's what I'm saying there. I guess the way you could do it, maybe if Dehancer could offer like a month subscription, where you can pay monthly and you can stop it at any time, that might be a good way of doing it. Especially if maybe, that option might work for people who think, oh my God, I really want to use this. And this is great. I really want to use it. And perhaps what you could do is spend a week, 2 weeks, month, a year, whatever you're doing, working on a project, and you've got all your footage together, and you bring in here and you do what you need to do. And then perhaps you could sign up for a license for a month, and then use that then to edit your footage. That might be a better way of doing it, because then it's almost like you're renting the equipment for a month, the same as you might rent a camera, you might rent a lens. You could possibly look at this in the same way and say, okay, well, at the moment you can only rent it for 3 months. But perhaps if there was a monthly rental, then, that might make some more sense, because Those prices I just quoted you there are for the video side. If you then want the Photoshop plugin as well, that's extra on top of that. They also do an iPhone app as well, which I'm just playing with at the moment, and I'm just about to start playing with the plugin for Photoshop. They're extra as well. So everything is brilliant, right? I can't fault it. I did do a bit of research on it before I sort of started using it, and I noticed that people had commented on older videos that perhaps it affected the performance of their PC or their Mac that they were using. Now, what I found is, yes, this thing here has affected the performance. It's nothing to do with the actual plugin itself. When I've disconnected it and all I've got is my Mac and my mouse plugged in and my hard drive, and like I said, I'm running running Premiere off my hard drive. The footage is fine. Even when I've been, doing my longer videos and I've got loads of transitions going on and loads of different things, I find that, yes, it has slowed it down a little bit, but it's not so much Dehancer doing that. It's just the sheer amount of stuff going on that footage. So I haven't really seen much of a performance issue from my machine, which I say consumer machine, I would say, to sort of say that that's affected me in what I do. So conclusion, really, just to sort of sum it up, is really like it, brilliant bit of kit. Pricing wise is the barrier that I think would stop people getting into it and would stop me from recommending it to certain people, professionals, got a business, do it full time, you want someone to increase your workflow that gives you fantastic results, then I can recommend it, definitely. But it's a great bit of kit. It does loads of stuff. So yes, I could recommend it to people who are on the professional side of things. And I have been using it for my professional work, and it's really, really good. But perhaps more at sort of the hobbyist end of the market, then I would struggle to, at this moment in time, recommend this, especially maybe if you're a student, or somebody like that. Perhaps, like say, your budget is stretched. I would say you're better off spending money on glass, and that sort of thing, than perhaps this. Maybe this is lower down on the order, of things that I would be looking to buy personally. If it was me, maybe if they could make that barrier to entry a little bit more affordable by having that monthly, sort of rental thing where you could just have it for a month, then perhaps you could, do a load of footage, bring it in, hire the software for a month, do what you need to do, get your project finished, and then you've just had a month hire. It might then spur you on to spend the money to get the lifetime membership at that point. That's the only thing I would see as being the issue. But aside from that, yeah, brilliant bit of kit. So again, sorry about the throw. I've managed to sort of limp my way through this. I hope you enjoyed this video. And like I say, if you have, then please leave a like. Subscribe to the channel is always appreciated. And please leave a description, comment below. Always read them. Always come back to people. And I do apologise. It takes me a little bit of time because I'm a bit slow at replying to people. Just ask my other half, who gets immensely frustrated with me because I don't even answer her back either. So it's just the way I am. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.